Greetings, people of the internet. This is Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. Welcome once again to the underground lair where we create robots, aliens, zombies, and other imminent threats to humanity. Today is a Sketchtime video, which means that's where we take things that we're working here at Serkworks Art Labs, some different experiments or concepts that we're working on, and try to put them to paper so that maybe our development team deep down in the lab can work on building these things and spell the end of humanity as we know it. We'll see. So today what we're going to do is we're going to combine a few things. We talked about robots is one of them. So what if we take a robot and a zombie? Well, no, not a zombie. Let's think. How about a robot and a mummy? And zombies and mummies, they're a little similar. I guess mummies don't really eat your brains and everything. I guess they just kill you. And they have kind of mystical Egyptian powers. But I thought it would be cool to see what a robot zombie would look like. So I said zombie, didn't I? I meant robot mummy. Let's draw a robot mummy. Okay, so let's sketch some robo mummies. The last time I did a Sketchtime video, I did a big giant mech drawing, and the first part cut off, so you didn't actually get to see the sketching phase. So this time I think I got everything. I didn't lose any of the drawing stage. So basically, and what I mentioned like in the intro about zombies and mummies kind of being similar, I think the walk is very similar. The way they behave, and well, I guess. Well, and again, it depends on what kind of interpretation of whatever zombie or mummy movie you're doing. Like I always picture the mummies with their arms outstretched, kind of coming at you, like, but and then I was thinking, well, maybe zombies aren't like that, but I've seen zombies definitely like that too. You don't see them. I guess I've just been so ingrained in like watching The Walking Dead lately. Their zombies don't actually have their arms outstretched like that coming after you. They just kind of, their arms are usually to their side. I guess they do kind of grab out to you and stuff. So, but they don't. Doesn't seem like they walk that way. But I always picture the mummy with his arms outstretched like that, kind of. The old Scooby-Doo, if you watch the one with the mummy, he's kind of like that. So I always picture the mummy like that. But anyway, so I wanted the gesture or the kind of the way he's standing to kind of be like almost like he's falling apart. Like maybe the left side of him is kind of drooping down a little more, or I guess yeah, and just so he's not. I just don't picture them standing perfectly stiff or still, like they're kind of just like wobbling, losing their balance type of thing. So I kind of tried to show that in the actual sketch. Now, so what I'm doing now is my idea, the reason I thought it would be cool to do a mummy, a robot mummy is, mummies are just, they're ancient. They're like falling apart. I mean, the wraps are holding them together at some point. But if you're falling apart, say like your leg just breaks off or something, or your arm, and how's a mummy without arms and legs gonna go after you and kill you? I don't know. So we need to retrofit the mummy, add some cybernetics to it, and keep it as live as long as he can, so he can go and wreak havoc on everyone. So anyway, so now we're at the inking stage, and I guess a lot of people want to know what tools I use for the sketching. I was using a Prismacolor Kohl Erase. So they're like erasable pencils. I use those a lot. I used just a regular red color. Sometimes I use blue or whatever. For the inking, again, and if you've watched these before, then you probably have heard me say this before, but I use Deleter Black number 5. It's a manga ink. You have to kind of search for that online. You gotta kind of get it from Japan, but it's really the best ink I found for using alcohol-based markers over. So that's, and then I use right now sometimes I use a Winsor Newton Series 7, which is really top of the line brush, but I don't have this is an aught, which is like a 0 aught, it's the same thing. But I don't, sometimes I like to use the thinner brush, so I don't have a Winsor Newton 0 or aught. So I'm using the Cotman, which is a watercolor. It's also by Winsor Newton, but it's the kind of economy brand. So, but anyway, so again, what I'm trying to think of, when you're, say for instance, like when you're drawing, if you were drawing a skeleton like a rib cage, but maybe instead of rib cages, the cybernetic element would be like kind of coils, like metal coils, or just whatever. I want him, because he is old, I want him to, again, sort of like what we did before with the mech. We kind of did that junkyard mech. I wanted it to be kind of made out of used parts, and you can see there's some sort of life support thing or something that's charging him up on the ground. I thought it'd be really cool to design like a kind of a metal sarcophagus that he would be coming out of, but I don't know, maybe I'll revisit another mummy and do something like that with kind of another robot mummy coming out of the sarcophagus. It would be pretty cool. And I might even do another version where it's got like the sort of the King Tut headdress and everything like that. With this one, I just figured I'd just start drawing and see where it took me, and then after, sometimes after you're drawing, you get all these other ideas like, oh, I should have did that, and that would have been really cool. But anyway, so just trying to show some exposed gears and just a lot of cylinders, a lot of pistons and things like that. Try to make it look like it sort of could be functional. So get some wires and stuff in there. Some of the parts are a little bulky, like on that right arm there. You see the bottom half is, well, the whole arm is kind of bulky. So maybe it was taken from maybe sort of like a warrior robot or something, like a RoboCop style thing. Whereas if you look at his leg, it's a little bit thinner, and maybe that was some kind of like a human prosthetic or something like that they hooked up. But just a mishmash of all kinds of different technology and everything. And you know what? Now that I'm looking, and I don't know if this was subconscious, as far as a subconscious influence, but the face on him kind of looks like Eddie from the Iron Maiden albums, because I think he was actually a mummy at one point. They kind of had all these different interpretations. I was never like a huge Iron Maiden fan. I could probably only list like one song they sang, but man, their album covers were so cool. So I used to draw stuff like that all the time in school. But anyway, so I probably had some kind of influence, because it sort of does look like him now that I mention it. So now just breaking out the markers. I've got my 3 different brands of markers that I use. I don't really have a preference. I prefer the Copic the best, but I'll use whatever I can get my hands on. That was the Trio markers. Now I'm using the Copics, and they all work really well together. It's not like they're not compatible or anything. The hardest thing is just finding similar colors, because I got the big, like one of the big, I don't know, 78, I don't know how many are in it, but the Copics. And they really, I don't know if they do it purposefully, but the ones they give you, they don't all go together. I don't know, it's sort of like a starter box, but then they throw other stuff in there that they're really like bright, like almost like fluorescent, that I can't use for anything. So it would be nice if you could like pick your own big collection, because you can save money by buying the big collections, but then again, a lot of them are just kind of useless, and a lot of them, I like the tones to be similar, like one darker tone, one lighter tone, so I can blend them. And a lot of times they'll give you markers that they look like they're similar in those big cases, but they don't really match up. So between all these different markers, I can usually make it work. I need to get some more greens, I know that, and some more blues, but most of the other colors, got a lot of different flesh tones and things like that I can use. A lot of different things, like as you can see for metallics, I've got a bunch of different cool grays, and the one thing that is weird from the different brands, like sometimes one brand's cool gray will sort of look warmer than the other ones, and so they don't always, you kind of have to test them out, but it does give you a good variety, because it's just, some are like super, got a lot of blue in the cool grays, and some of them are just a little more towards the, I guess, I don't like a dirtier color, I don't know, almost like a warmer gray, but anyway, Again, we're going to kind of do some of the, oh, see, we did kind of lose all that background that I did there. So I guess I did lose part of that. My video camera always cuts out. I'm hoping to upgrade soon, get a different one. But anyway, so I'm just adding, now I'm using my gel pen, and I must have been checking text or looking at a reference or something. Oh, I was filming it for, must have been filming it for my Instagram, which you guys can follow me on Instagram if you want. I'm at Serkworks. But anyway, just kind of going, I like to use my gel pen to kind of go around the outline, and just finish this guy up and go around that little like charger or life support or whatever it is. But yeah, I was kind of happy. I don't know about the bright green background. What do you guys think? I guess it's okay. Sometimes I just use whatever, you know, because I when I'm drawing big areas like that, I'm always afraid I'm going to run out of markers. So sometimes I use something that I don't typically use. But anyway, so there you have it. That is my Robo Mummy. Again, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing. Leave me a comment, and that is all.